Well, hello, Young and the Restless Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Friday, June the 2nd, 2023. Friday, June the 2nd. Well, Summer decides she's going to leave home again. She tells Kyle, I got to go meet Daniel because it's important for us to try to mend, to try to mend fences. We're at odds. And he's like, but you leaving? He's like, I just got. So she takes off, right? And I thought, you know what, Summer? She takes off because Phyllis continuously, she's got her phone in her pocket, ding. And I'm thinking, turn off your ringer so that, or your notifications. Because when have you been getting texts? And who would be texting you, Summer? Who would be doing that? Right? It is Phyllis. Summer, I need you, Summer. And she's like, oh my God, Mom, I'm home. So she leaves, and then she says, she gets to Phyllis's place, and Phyllis is like, finally. And she goes, Mom, how many times did I tell you, do not text me when I'm with Kyle? So she goes, Kyle, I need you. Our family, our family is in turmoil. And Phyllis was just all about Phyllis. And Summer's like, oh my God, don't even, right? She goes, don't bring up Daniel again, Mom. Don't even do it. So she goes, well, it's actually too late for that. And then there's a knock on the door. And Summer is looking like, wait, who's knocking on the door, right? And so I think Phyllis opens the door. No. Summer opens the door, and Daniel sees Phyllis, and he just walks over and he hugs his mother like you would not believe. Oh, he's like, oh, the look in his face, like, oh my God, you are here. Because remember, Phyllis has not spoken to him. She's just called him a couple times just to hear his voice. And he's talking to dead airspace, and he's like, I'm hoping this is Mom. I'm talking to you like you, but to just, this is my mother. So they were having a conversation, and Phyllis was saying, she's like, Summer's like, I can't believe you brought Daniel here. I cannot. So they're talking, and Daniel's looking at her, and Phyllis is like, we need to heal this family. And I'm like, you are delusional, chick. Delusional, Phyllis, right? And so Summer's like, no. And then Daniel is like, okay, well, what's the next step? I mean, she goes, well, I'm not turning myself in. He goes, but what's the plan? What's the plan on clearing us, getting your name cleared? Because he's like, and so then Summer says, yeah, because everybody knows you're alive now. Diane, the charges against her are dropped. Christine dropped them. And so Phyllis goes, of course Diane got out from under those charges. Of course she did. Of course she's walking around free. And Daniel looks at Phyllis and said, you mean, of course she got off for a crime that she did not commit? The intended victim, I'm looking at her right now. And Phyllis just looks like, and I'm like, see, Phyllis, I'm not Team Phyllis anymore. I was so Team Phyllis for years. But this, I mean, she in one breath said, I wrecked everything. I destroyed everything. Now I have my two children as accomplices. I'm so sorry. That came out of her mouth. And then the next thing that came out of her mouth It's, oh, and Christine would love to throw the book at me. Summer's like, there's now all out manhunt for you, Mom. And so Daniel says, oh, you mean the Christine that you did a lot of horrible things to back in the day? See, Phyllis like, nah, yeah. Mm. And so Daniel, says, okay, fine. He's not, all about saying turn yourself in. He's like, they're like, we gotta find a way to clear her name. She goes, there's something out there. Stark left a trail. If we could find that EMT person, he can may have some information for us. And I'm thinking the EMT guy just did his job, and Stark paid him for the portion of his job that he did. That EMT guy is gone. Because let's be real, everybody. Stark was not holding Phyllis prisoner in that motel. As a matter of fact, remember, Stark bought Phyllis a plane ticket just to get out of Genoa City. And he told Phyllis, from there, you go wherever you want. You do. You got to get out of here first. Right? And he got a call that she never got on that plane. And he was pissed. See, he wanted her gone. He wanted to go on his merry way. Phyllis was the one changing things up in the 9th hour, right? So that EMT, how could he help her? The plan was never to kill her at all. Otherwise, she would have been dead, and really, that body would have been dead in that ambulance, right? It would have been her. So I'm thinking, oh, goodness gracious, this is just getting ridiculous, Phyllis. For them to have her, Phyllis is a mastermind of scheming, conniving, lying. She should have already come up with something plausible. She should have already been adding a digital footprint on the internet. I don't care if it's fabricated. It was fabricated that Diane bought the arsenic, right? They put that digital footprint, there. I don't know, did they steal her cards? Phyllis probably hacked into something and got a hold of one of her credit cards. And, but I'm just saying, she could definitely have, anyway. So they decide, okay, first things first, Daniel says, you can't stay here. This hotel is too high profile. We got to figure out a way to sneak you out of here. Let's get you to someplace way on the out, back to the heck hole you were in, Phyllis, right? Little Motel 6. Even though Chance has been there now, so it would have to be somewhere else, right? But get her out of there. I'm with you, Daniel. It's too close. She's too close. So they said, okay, we're going to do that. And we're going to look for the EMT driver, as Phyllis is going to continue to comb the internet to see if she could find out something that Stark was up to, something to use to exonerate herself, something to show it was self-defense. Now, if she could find some kind of receipts, maybe after the memorial service where Stark was, buying stuff to kill her. And I mean, did he buy a big shovel? Okay, did he really buy some tarp? Because you the one used the shower curtain. But I mean, what can he buy? What can she find to show he was out to kill her? I don't know. They're going to have to do some good writing. And here's the thing with the Young and the Restless, they don't have a lot of good writing. They don't do really good storytelling. I mean, the most interesting one was the Ashland Locke at the end when he was unhinged. That was it. That was just a hot minute, though. This whole Phyllis thing, they've written themselves into something really ridiculous. Unfortunately, she need to go to jail for a minute to make that right, because I'm not seeing it. So as they're talking and they're deciding, okay, Summer stands up. She goes, look, I've got to get back home. I have been gone from Kyle too long. I mean, I've got to go back home. And Phyllis was like, yeah, okay, my son is here, right? Then there's this banging on the door, banging on the door. Summer, Summer, are you in there, Summer? And Summer's kind of like, wait, huh? But before that, Daniel's still hugging Phyllis. Yeah, I like this picture. This is Phyllis being direct. Her. Look at her. She's hugging Daniel, and she reaches her hand out for her daughter, just smiling. And Summer's kind of like, so Summer puts her hand in her mother's, and Phyllis is like, I got my kids together in trouble. All of y'all, all of you guys are in trouble. Every one of you, right? Because Summer can't seem to not lead people to you. And now Daniel, though Daniel stays there, so probably not on that floor, but Daniel lives more people live at hotels. But anyway, so it's banging on the door. Summer, Summer, where are you, Summer? And she looks. So my mind, I'm thinking, okay, you two get in the bathroom, right? Go hide in the bathroom. Phyllis didn't register that room under Phyllis Summers, right? He would just be thinking Summer's having an affair. No, Summer could easily say, I rented this room so I could just come and just decompress and cry. I just need some time to myself sometime. And this is where I come, Kyle. This is where I come. But anyway, Summer opens the door and Kyle looks at her and who do we see just right past her? We see Phyllis standing up. Daniel was sitting down, but he stands up, and I said, there you have it, folks. Summer led Kyle right to them. But what I want to know is, how did Kyle know what room to knock on? How did he know? Does he have some kind of find my cell phone tracker so that he could track Summer where she's at? And even at that, those things are going to take you to a location. They can't tell you she's behind door number 3, right? They can't tell you that. And I'm like, how did he get the room number? Maybe we'll find that out. But now they're busted. Now she's going to have to beg him to keep her mother's secret. And let's see, will he? Because how many times did he tell her, we'll get her back home and we'll try to, make it go as easy as it can on her. Yeah. Kyle's true colors are going to come out, because it's like, no, your mama tried to frame my mama and tried to put her in jail. I ain't helping. We'll see. This Phyllis fiasco is going to be the end of Summer and Kyle. It's going to be the end. I really honestly believe that. So now this is where I was telling last recap, I skipped ahead here, that Nick comes out and jumps in to get between Sharon and Cameron, Kirsten. And Cameron is like, still the hothead. And Nick is like, oh, you don't want to find out. You stay away from Sharon and don't you ever come near her again. And then Cameron is like, oh, by the way, I ran into your daughter, Faith. Beautiful little girl. And he looks over at Sharon, look just like her mama. And Nick is like, don't you ever say my daughter's name. See, my whole thing is Nick be Nick. Punch him hard. Let his head hit the table as he falls. And now you got another dead body. Now you're going to have another dead body. But this time, don't be stupid. Call the cops. Say he had his hands on Sharon. She was trying to get away. I stepped in, clocked him, right? So, but Kirsten walked away. And I thought, see, that's the kind of danger that's going to come back and terrorize you and your daughter. He's one you don't want walking around. And unfortunately, the GCPD is going to say, until he hurt somebody, till we see some first blood, we can't do anything, Sharon. Oh, come on now. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Period. My whole thing is he put his hands on me. Oh no, restraining order. Restraining order. Period. No. So I don't know. This is going to be, I think this Cameron Kirsten storyline is going to go pretty quickly. I don't think they're going to drag it out. It's interesting. He ran into Diane. He was at the bar. Diane took Jack his drink and she came back for hers. And he was like, you shouldn't leave your drink unattended like that. She's like, excuse me? Somebody could put something in it. And she goes, no, I know. Me and my husband know most of the people in here. And he looked at her. He goes, you don't know me. And she looked at him. And she goes, I think my drink was fine. And she was getting ready to walk away with it. But then she looks at the bartender. She slides it over to him. She goes, I'm sorry, can you make me another one of these? And so Cameron said, smart lady. And I'm like, and she's looking at him because she's like, because she asked, do I know you? And I'm thinking, did she know him? But somehow, if they had met in the past, I mean, it wasn't like, oh, she was working with Cameron somewhere, because Cameron's been in jail for what, 30 years? Or almost, or a couple decades, right? So Diane, she doesn't know him unless they were both in town at the same time 20, 30 years ago. I don't know. Wouldn't that be interesting if he turned out to be Kyle's father? you know, but anyway, that was it. That was it. Phyllis. I'm disappointed. I'm really disappointed in the way they're writing this whole story. Because how does the family come out from this? This is ridiculous. We go from a woman this time last year owning her own prosperous hotel. Phyllis was doing well. And now this. So anyway, everybody, that's it. We'll see what Monday's daily recap brings, but that's it for Friday, February the 2nd, 2023. And there were no comments in Comment Corner.